Hello. Sorry. Didn't know you were there. J'aime bien les pretzels, hein? Les pretzels sont délicieux. Terribly sorry. Well, let's get started. Bonjour. Comment vas-tu? Ouais. Moi, très bien. Comme j'ai dit, j'aime les pretzels, donc moi je vais très bien, merci. Euh, Comment t'appelles-tu? Oh, je m'appelle Monsieur Nesbitt. I'd shake your hand, but you never respond, so what's the use? Enchanté. Quel âge as-tu? J'ai 61 ans. Et puis, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Il y a un problème? Is there something wrong? Oh, toi tu veux un bretzel. Excuse-moi. Tu veux un bretzel, hein? Je t'en offre? Je te l'offre? Non, tu ne veux pas un bretzel? Ah bon? Ah bon? Tu veux des bretzels? Tu veux autant que ça? Bon, d'accord, sers-toi. Il n'y a pas de quoi. Ah, tu as quelque chose pour moi? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, un bretzel. Un seul pour moi. Bon, merci beaucoup, hein. Bon, je ne dis pas au revoir. Hein, I'm not going to say au revoir because we're going to start the lesson right off the bat here. But thanks a lot. Let's take a look at lesson 1.17, in which we'll be dealing with, in fact, we're already starting to deal with definite articles and indefinite articles. I said to you, un bretzel, that's the indefinite article in the singular form, and then you wanted des bretzels, and so I offered you, that's the indefinite article in the plural form. I offered you several of them. And so this lesson is focusing on the pluralization of nouns and on the use of definite and indefinite articles. Let's take a look right away at the third section of lesson 1.17. And here what you're doing is you're making nouns in their singular form, you're making them plural. Singular form, making them plural. Here we have un repas, or excuse me, I'll say the definite article, le repas. Le repas. What's the plural of le repas? Well, I told you the plural way to say the is les. And now how do you make a noun plural in French? Well, you simply, typically, you add the letter S, unless there's already an S or an X at the end of the spelling. But we're not interested at this point in the spelling of words. You simply say repas. The sound does not change. Repas singular, repas plural. There are very few exceptions to that. Some exceptions do exist. Probably the more common, or the most common one, is that a word ending in the sound al changes to the sound o. Général, which is general, becomes généraux in the plural, generals. Cheval, which is horse, becomes chevaux, horses in the plural. There's one you actually already know, and that's animal for an animal. Animal, un animal, but des animaux. Animal changes to animaux in the plural form. So there are a few exceptions, but generally speaking, nouns will not change their sound when they're made plural. They'll change their spelling, but that's not really what we're dealing with at this point of the course. And so I'll go back. We have le repas, les repas, le petit déjeuner, les petits déjeuners. All that changes is the sound the. Le becomes in the plural les, and la is the same thing. Let's find a feminine noun down here. La pizza. This becomes les pizza. So la also becomes les in the plural. Let's try one that begins with a vowel sound. Hamburger. You may remember that I said that le or la become L apostrophe, which sounds like at the beginning of a word that begins with a vowel sound. So we don't say, although it is masculine, we don't say le hamburger. It's too awkward. Le hamburger. We say l'hamburger. L apostrophe makes it sound l. We add the sound l at the beginning of the word beginning with a vowel sound, and l'hamburger. Well, the plural is also les. And so we would normally, you'd think you'd say les hamburgers, but this form is what I talked about last time briefly, a liaison. We say les hamburgers. If you say les hamburgers at this time, I won't feel too bad about it. but it's actually les hamburgers. So that's what the third section deals with, is pluralization. Make a French word plural actually simply by changing the form of the definite article, the word the, which precedes it. For the most part, the noun will not change its sound at all when made plural. Let's go down now to the fifth section, or I think it's the fifth or sixth section, right down here. And now you're going to see a couple of symbols that you haven't seen before, a couple of pictures you haven't seen before. This picture of me saying just one is the symbol for an indefinite article, meaning this is the word meal. So instead of saying the meal, I want you to say a meal. Okay? I prepare a meal. Je prépare. Now the word for the indefinite article for a is un in the masculine, une in the feminine. And so this would be un repas. Je prépare un repas. What if I were talking about not just a single meal, but a number of items, such as I offered you some pretzels. I said des bretzels, des bretzels, and des is the plural form of un or une. It corresponds in English to the idea of some, an undefined quantity of a certain item. Well, here's the symbol that you'll see now, and it's a rather bizarre looking one, which means that maybe there are 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. In this case, we're talking about meals, so some meals. He prepares some meals, where the word some I just said is des. So, il prépare des repas. Let's take a look at another example of that. Here's a petit déjeuner. It's le petit déjeuner. It's a masculine noun. Down here, if I want to say a single breakfast, I would say un petit déjeuner and des petits déjeuners for some breakfasts. Now, by the way, you happen to see 3 of them here. You could say it's not some, that's 3 breakfasts. Whenever you see 3 of the noun on a single screen, that just means the plural form. There aren't necessarily exactly 3. Could be 4, could be 5, could be 6. Okay, so this is just saying some breakfast. Let me go down and find a feminine, a noun of some kind. Let's see here. Pizza again. I talked about that earlier. Here when I want to say, this is she eats a pizza. I hope she doesn't eat the whole thing by herself. But elle mange, maybe it's a little tiny personal pan pizza. Elle mange, here it's not un, but the feminine form, because pizza is a feminine word. It's la pizza. Elle mange une pizza. And then, this is getting worse and worse. Tu manges des pizzas. Some pizzas. Okay? So the plural form of un, the plural form of une, is des. Okay. Let's just go through and do one series. We'll go back to the very first one. One series of 5 sentences, all revolving around the idea of the definite articles and the indefinite articles and how to make a noun plural. Making a noun plural is easy. You don't change its sound whatsoever. So here we're saying she prepares the meal. Elle prépare le repas. You prepare, you sir or you ma'am, you prepare the meals. Vous préparez les repas. Here we're being more specific in saying a meal. Je prépare un repas. Here is you prepare 3 meals. Tu prépares 3 repas. Now here we are giving a specific number, and you'll find that in each section of 5 sentences there will be one number included. So you can practice numbers, and also so that you know that we're talking about a specific quantity of the noun, whatever it happens to be. And last of all, we have he prepares some meals. Il prépare des repas. Let me do those again rapidly. Elle prépare le repas. Vous préparez les repas. I lost it there. There it is. Je prépare un repas. Tu prépares 3 repas. And last of all, il prépare des repas. Voilà, 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 c'est bien. Alors, bon courage. I'll see you in the beginning of the next class. Go get them. Lesson 1.17.